Imagine your love for gaming. Initially, you set out to control your gaming hours, ensuring it's just a fun pastime. But as the excitement grows, gaming starts to control the hours you spend, pulling you in with its challenges and adventures. Suddenly, what began as a hobby starts dictating your free time, and you find yourself thinking about strategies even when you're not playing. That attempt to manage your gaming now seems like the game itself is managing your time and focus. This scenario embodies the paradox of control. Initially, you sought to manage your gaming time, but as it grew more engaging, it paradoxically gained more control over your time and attention. The paradox lies in the attempt to control something, believing you have the upper hand, yet gradually it gains power over you. This contradiction often occurs when efforts to control or manage a situation inadvertently result in it taking a greater hold over your actions or thoughts than you intended. The more you try to rein in control, the more it paradoxically controls you in return, creating an unexpected dynamic shift in the power balance. Today's video explores the paradox of control, a fascinating concept where our attempts to manage certain aspects of life often end up influencing or even controlling us in unexpected ways. Join me as we unravel this and its profound impact on our choices and behaviors. Let's get into the video. There are aspects of our lives that even the most influential and renowned individuals cannot or choose not to control. Despite their status, there remain elements beyond their reach or influence. It's a reminder that no matter one's power or fame, there exist forces beyond our control. Circumstances, emotions, or natural events that humble us and remind us of the inherent unpredictability of life. Consider the weather. It affects everyone, regardless of their status or influence. Even the most powerful individuals cannot control or alter weather patterns. For instance, a billionaire hosting an outdoor event might have meticulously planned every detail, but if a sudden storm arises, it disrupts the occasion, impacting guests and arrangements despite the host's wealth or prominence. The weather remains an uncontrollable factor that can affect anyone, showcasing that certain aspects of life lie beyond even the reach of the most influential people. Similarly, parts of our bodies evade complete control, as aging and illness are inevitable. Despite our efforts to maintain good health, the natural aging process and the susceptibility to illnesses remind us of our human limitations. It's a universal truth that affects everyone, irrespective of their status or influence. No matter how affluent or powerful one may be, the inevitability of aging and the vulnerability to health issues is a shared human experience that cannot be fully controlled or avoided. With these instances in mind, it's crucial to embrace humility and acknowledge the natural order of the world. The inability to control certain aspects of life emphasizes the importance of humility, recognizing our limitations despite our achievements or positions in society. It shows the significance of respecting the natural course of events and acknowledging that some forces are beyond our influence. Embracing humility and respecting the inherent order of the world allows us to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and understanding of the aspects we cannot control. And as the Greek philosopher Epictetus once said, "The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control." So rather than fixating on what's beyond our control, it's wiser to redirect our focus towards aspects within our sphere of influence, such as our actions and reactions. By concentrating our efforts on how we respond to situations and the choices we make, we empower ourselves. This shift in focus allows us to channel our energy into areas where we can affect change, cultivating a sense of agency and self-mastery. It's in these choices, our responses, and our actions that we carve our path and shape our destinies. But as individuals, we often possess the belief that we can control various aspects of our lives. This confidence stems from our understanding of what we perceive as beneficial or detrimental to our well-being. We tend to believe that by foreseeing potential outcomes, we can manipulate circumstances to align with our desires, striving to steer events toward favorable outcomes and away from unfavorable ones. Imagine a person meticulously researching and investing in what they believe is a secure business opportunity. They thoroughly analyze the market, foreseeing potential risks, and making calculated decisions to avoid any adverse outcomes. However, an unforeseen global economic downturn beyond their control impacts the entire market, causing their investment to suffer despite their careful planning. In this scenario, despite their efforts to control the situation by anticipating risks, external forces beyond their influence lead to an unfavorable outcome. Scenarios like this serve as a lesson for acceptance of unpredictability and aspects beyond our control. While it might be challenging to accept such outcomes, they highlight the existence of external factors that fall beyond our sphere of influence. Acknowledging and embracing the reality that some outcomes are beyond our control shows a sense of resilience and adaptability. It allows us to navigate circumstances with a more open mindset, focusing on our responses rather than futile attempts to control what lies outside of our influence. So, the paradox of control revolves around our attempts to manage or control certain aspects of our lives, right? We strive to influence outcomes, believing we have command over situations, yet sometimes, the more we try to control, the more it eludes our grasp. Continuing from the example of trying to control outcomes despite external factors, the paradox shows up when our efforts to control what we perceive as controllable collide with factors beyond our influence. Despite meticulous planning, there remains a paradoxical interplay where the very act of striving to control becomes the force that limits our ability to control. In essence, the paradox of control highlights that our efforts to control certain aspects can paradoxically lead to a loss of control. It emphasizes the need for a balance between directing our efforts where we can influence and accepting the inherent unpredictability of life. Understanding that some forces will always remain beyond our control, no matter our efforts to manage them. Our innate desire to control outcomes often leads to suffering. The more we cling to the idea of control, the more we suffer when things don't go as planned. This attachment to controlling circumstances, especially those beyond our influence, causes distress when reality doesn't align with our expectations. It's this attachment to control that becomes a source of suffering, as the discrepancy between our expectations and reality intensifies our emotional turmoil. So, how do we deal with this? As a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, Viktor E. Frankl said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." So, while we might not control the events that occur, we have the freedom to decide how we respond to them. This choice of response, according to Frankl, defines our growth and ultimately our freedom. His words urge us to recognize this space as a source of empowerment, allowing us to transcend external circumstances and shape our own internal reactions rather than suffering from them. Discover solace in the uncontrollable, for it's within the embrace of life's uncertainties that true peace resides, creating resilience. It's in letting go of unnecessary attempts to control that we find tranquility. Learning to release the grip on what lies beyond our influence allows us to navigate the unpredictable currents of life with greater ease. By embracing the inherent unpredictability of life, we cultivate a resilience that empowers us to adapt, evolve, and find a profound sense of peace amid the ever-changing landscape of existence. Have you experienced situations where your efforts to control things seem to have the opposite effect? That's the paradox of control in action. Share your stories in the comments below and see how this paradox shapes our lives altogether. And if you found value in today's video, don't forget to support the channel by clicking on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always notified when we have a new upload. Until next time.